For 29 and 30, these are geometric series questions that are in sigma notation. And so we're going to use the S sub n is equal to a1 times in parentheses 1 minus r to the nth power, close parentheses, all over 1 minus r. And what we just need to do is figure out what each of these things are. Now, if you plug in the bottom number into your equation, that would get you negative 6 to the 1 minus 1 power, which is negative 6 to the 0 power, and anything to the 0 power is just 1. And this is your A1 term because we have just plugged it in the bottom number of the sigma notation. That's the starting value of I. And so this is A1. Now we also need to know the common ratio, and luckily for us the common ratio is extremely easy to find in this because the number that is being multiplied repeatedly in this is the thing being raised to the exponent of negative 6. So that is your R. N is the number of terms, and the number of terms is found by saying how many terms are there between the bottom number and the top number. And so from 1 to 7 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is obviously 7 terms, and you can also find that by simply subtracting the top minus the bottom plus 1. But if it starts at 1, then it's always the top number is your N. Once you have your three things, A1, R, and N, then it's a simple matter of plugging into the formula. S sub, well, there are 7 terms, is equal to A sub 1 is 1 times 1 minus R, which is our negative 6. Make sure to put that in parentheses, being raised to the nth power, which is 7, all over 1 minus R, which is again our negative 6. I drew the line a little long here. Don't get overzealous. This is an area of mistake for a lot of students. The 1 minus a negative 6 right here. A lot of people would say, oh, minus a negative is the same thing as plus a positive. So we don't want to do that yet because we have to use the order of operations, which says to do the exponents before we do that. And about half of the time the exponents will keep it negative, and the other half of the time it'll make it a positive, and then you'll no longer have the minus a negative thing. Since this is a odd exponent, that 7th power is going to stay negative, so we don't really have to worry about that. It'll stay a negative number. 1 minus a negative number will be the same thing as 1 plus that number, so we don't really need to concern ourselves with that. But if this had been an 8, then that would have really messed up our problem. So make sure that you wait to do that. You just have to do some simple calculation from here. S sub 7 is equal to 1 times 1 minus whatever that number is, all over top of 1 minus a negative 6 is positive 7. As soon as you figure out what that number is, which will be a negative number again, you can go ahead and add the numbers on the top and then divide by 7, and that'll get you your final answer of 39991, 39,991.